2011 was the year that the judiciary got enmeshed in controversies that badly diminished it in the eyes of the public. From the face-off between the then Chief Justice of Nigeria and the then President of the Court of Appeal, the allegations of bribe for election petition judgments which made the late Justice Kayode Esho to remark that Nigeria now has billionaire judges. 2011 was not a very good year for the Nigerian judiciary. However, expectations by members of the public that the judiciary in 2012 would do some house cleaning and resolve these controversies, particularly that of the suspension of Justice Ayo Salami and the much expected reform of the sector, and in particular the National Judicial Council, was largely dashed. Indeed, the year started with its own controversy. The judiciary was caught in the middle of the crisis that trailed the removal of oil subsidy by the federal government.
Then talk say when they come out the subsidy, say the money where they collect, say they go take care of us. Now waiting, now wash.
The decision caught many unawares. Unexpectedly, it was strongly resisted by the labor unions and civil society groups. But following its failure to persuade the labor unions to shelve their planned strike, the federal government, through the Attorney General of the Federation, 2 days to the commencement of the strike, went before the National Industrial Court and secured an injunction to restrain the unions from carrying out their threats. After listening to a motion experte, the court went on to bar the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress from going ahead with the industrial action. The ruling attracted criticism from members of the public and it was never complied with both by the government and the defendants, thereby making a valid order of the court appear to have died a natural death. It was also in the first month of the year that the Supreme Court put an end to the controversy over the tenure of 5 governors who won rerun elections in their states a year after their initial victories in 2007 were annulled because of irregularities. A month after the controversy on tenure of governors was determined, one of the longest controversy-laden criminal cases was also determined. The 13-year-old trial of Major Hamza al-Mustafa, the former chief security officer to late General Sani Abacha, who was charged along with Alhaji Lateef Shofolahan for the murder of Alhaja Kudirat Abiola, wife of MKO Abiola, the winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential elections. Justice Mojisola Dada of the Lagos High Court sentenced both men to death by hanging. The appeal on that death sentence is still pending. The controversial case of the former governor of Delta State, Chief James Ibori, was also resolved in 2012. A Crown Court in the UK convicted and sentenced to 13 years the former governor after he pleaded guilty to a 10-count charge of money laundering. The guilty plea, based on similar charges in Nigeria, which was dismissed by the Federal High Court Benin, further sank the judiciary low in the eyes of many Nigerians in a move that was considered as the biggest shame of that arm of government.
What kind of system do you run in your country that allows a man who has stolen money and asset more than the budget of our country not to stand trial? It's a very unfortunate development. So you can't fight corruption under such a political or cultural milieu. It's not possible. However, the security agencies or the anti-graft agencies may try. There are lawyers and judges who will frustrate them.
In yet another controversial case, the Supreme Court on the 11th of July conferred on Akwa Ibom State the ownership of the 76 oil wells along the Atlantic Ocean, ruling that Cross River State had lost its claim to being a littoral state when the federal government, under the leadership of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, handed over portions of the Bakassi Peninsula to Cameroon.
I, Adoma Mariam Mukhtar, do solemnly swear.
Away from the court, President Goodluck Jonathan on the 17th of July swore in Justice Mariam Aloma Mukhtar as the first female Chief Justice of Nigeria. The outgoing year also saw the election of a new president for the Nigerian Bar Association. The umbrella body of lawyers admitted to practice law in Nigeria conducted elections which returned Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Okewali, as president. 2013 brings renewed hope that the high-profile cases of corruption instituted by the EFCC against former governors, former bank bosses and fuel subsidy suspects, none of which was concluded, would be laid to rest. Many also hope that the unresolved issue of Justice Salami would be concluded. and the judiciary would, as a matter of urgency, kickstart the much-needed reforms. Shola Shoyeli for Channels Television News.